Welcome to No Stats, where we call it how we see it.
Back again with another one, baby.
Yeah.
Sun's out, guns out, baby. You know what jersey I got
We
on.
could have put a hoodie on or a t-shirt or something.
Oh man. Let's get right into it, Seth.
What's up?
I know we're a day late, but we had game 2 wrap up on Sunday. Miami was able to steal one on the road. Surprisingly,
We didn't expect
I didn't expect that. But you did text me that day of the game, and you said Miami Heat win. No, I said
Love.
I asked you, does Miami win? And you said yes. I called this last time on Eric Spoelstra starting Kevin Love, and I think that I'm not saying that he made a huge impact, but come on, man, 10 boards, veteran presence, just seemed like he just changed the overall dynamic in that game too. And then also your adjustment that you stated of, making Jokic a scorer and not letting him dominate the game with his incredible passing. And we saw that 41 points, but only I think 4 assists, which is very surprising. But it was a great adjustment by the Miami Heat. It's going to be very interesting to see how they game plan for game 3, because I know the Nuggets are going to counter what they're going to have. And I think Jimmy Butler getting the matchup of Jamal Murray as the primary defender, I think that also did justice in game 2. What did you see, bro? And what are some of your thoughts on this game 2 that we just seen?
Well, I think the 3 points that you pointed out were huge adjustments by Miami. With the first one that you pointed out was starting Kevin Love. Like you said, the numbers aren't eye-popping. He didn't contribute a tremendous amount of minutes in the game, right? But starting him to counter what Aaron Gordon did in game 1, because Aaron Gordon just said, everybody's too little that you're putting on me. So Kevin Love just provided a body. Like you said, grabbing 10 boards was huge, gave you some rebounds that you was lacking in that first quarter, and just didn't allow you to get in a huge hole on the road. Because when you're on the road and you get the crowd to get into the game, and you get the role players to get into the game, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if you down 8 in the first quarter, you're down like 16 in a playoff game on the road. And your star players isn't really, you got the role player going off to start the game. I just think that's hard to overcome. So I like that adjustment, number 1. Number 2, bro, I'm so happy they did that. What I said, man, as far as making Jokic a scorer, you're not going to stop Jokic. He's going to do what he wants to do. But I think the best way to affect, not even Jokic, but to affect the rest of the team is to say, we're playing you one-on-one. You're not getting no access, face, guard, do what you got to do. But just give me 40 or 50. Like I said, bro, and it's no stats. It is no stats. But the Denver Nuggets are 0-4 when Jokic scored 40 points or more.
Those are the important stats.
The important stats, yes. Yes, absolutely. So I think, it just, like I said, Jokic is such a great and phenomenal player. He's going to impact the game in one way or another. There's nothing you really can do to stop that. So just don't let don't let Michael Porter Jr. give you 17. Don't let Aaron Gordon give you 20. Don't let KCP give you 14. Don't let, you got to try to manage those guys because they get hot. Then you start worrying about them. And then before you know it, Jokic has 30. And you're like, he only had 12 going into the 4th or whatever it was in game 1. So I am of the belief that that's the way to play. Like you said, they'll have some adjustments. And they'll figure that out. But make him a scorer, bro. And lastly, quickly, the Jamal Murray on Jimmy Butler. I think that's what you do. I mean, Jimmy Butler on Jamal Murray. That's what you do. You give him some length. You give him some height. Put your best defender on him. Face guard to other players. And let Jokic go to work. And, Miami had to make their threes. Huge. Max Strus, who we talked about, finally came
who was fucking on. Yeah, we ain't seen him since game 1 of the fucking first round.
Yep. And I still will need a Gabe Vincent game. We'll need a Duncan Robinson game. We'll need one of those, the guys that have been stepping up, and they was able to do that in game 2.
Also, too, to point out, I saw that Miami was hitting Bam. They run this set a lot, but they was really getting Jokic in the action where Bam was getting the ball at the high post, not necessarily looking to score, and then it was running curl actions on the wings with the Gabe Vincent, with the Duncan Robinson, with the Max Strus, making Jokic either, all right, are you going to sit in the paint and give up the shooters? Even the communication between like a Christian Braun and Bruce Brown was opening up so much for Gabe Vincent from three, from Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson had 10 huge points in that fourth quarter.
And that's
all
what Golden,
of those actions.
Not to cut you off really quick.
No, you good,
That's
bro.
what Golden State did last year against Denver. They put Jokic in pick and roll action and that screen action to make him make a decision. Are you going to step out? You know, because Jokic's his disadvantage, if you will, is defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want him on the guard, so they were trying to exploit that mismatch as well.
I think Miami has to stick to that, bro. I think they have to stick to what's working. Really look at game 2. Like I said, Denver is going to adjust. This is going to be a very interesting game 3. I wanted to get your take on that, on, you know, Miami's at home. They've been playing phenomenal at home all throughout these playoffs. Denver, you know, excluding like that Minnesota series and the sweep, you know, they did drop 2 in Phoenix on the road. But that's like a small sample size. Who comes out of game 3, bro?
That's a great question. That's tough. It's tough because I think Denver will still win in Miami. And I don't know if that's game 3 or game 4, but I think they go back to Denver tied 2-2. I think Miami takes 1. And I think Denver takes 1. I'm going to go Denver takes game 3. Miami takes game 4. I say they go back and forth for the first 4 games. So Denver takes game 3.
Do I gotta stand on the other side with this take?
Miami gonna take a 2-1 lead. I can see that though.
I think Denver takes both of these on the road. That's very steep. I know I'm going out on a limb here, but I think the energy that I seen from Mike Malone, saying that his team became complacent and comfortable, I think that's gonna light a fire on the Denver's ass. I also think that Jamal Murray will be better. I think Bruce Brown will be better. And I also think KCP will be better on the road in these 2 games on the road. I hope Miami gets one to keep it interesting, but I'm going with Denver to take both of these in Miami.
What kind of fashion? Is it a blowout? Is it a close game? Is it 1-game blowout?
I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a blowout. I just don't know which one. Maybe game 3, then Miami plays them tough. Game 4 loses 1, puts the pressure on them to go back to Denver. But yeah, bro, I'm going with Denver in game 3 and 4, man.
3 and 4. Question though, did you hear Steve Kerr on Draymond's podcast?
I seen a couple clips of it, but I didn't get to watch it yet.
So he was basically depicting what Eric Spoelstra saw in game 1 with Denver and how he reacted in game 2. One being, let's make Jokic a scorer, but he also alluded to that Eric Spoelstra said, and this is Steve Kerr's words, that Jamal Murray's the head of the snake.
I did see that.
Put Jimmy Butler on Jamal Murray and kind of limit him, and we can control the game. What are your thoughts on that? Is, at least scoring wise, right? Is Jamal Murray the head of the snake?
I mean, from the samples we've been getting, I think so. I think you can't let a guy like Jamal Murray get into the 30-point ball clubs and then Jokic still is Jokic on the side. I think if you can neutralize Jamal Murray, and like you said, just play Jokic just straight up, everybody stay home on the shooters, and just let Jokic just go to work. Deny Jamal Murray, keep Jimmy Butler on him, hard switches, double teams off some of the pick and rolls. I will continue to make it hard for somebody like Jamal Murray. I agree with Steve Kerr's statement on or Eric Spoelstra, whichever one said it, that Jamal Murray is the head of the snake. I don't think Jokic scoring 40 will win this series. Now, if he has 40 and maybe 9 to 10 dimes, then, we're talking about a whole different situation here. But I think if you neutralize Jamal Murray, I think the Miami Heat will have a good chance of coming out of this series.
I agree, bro. And that's why before the series started, I asked you, do you think Jamal Murray could get Finals MVP if the Nuggets were to win this, right? And how that would affect Jokic's, legacy so far. And the reason I asked that, because offensively, and I'm not going to say offensively, in the scoring mindset, Murray's more aggressive than Jokic, right? And that was another reason why I said make Jokic a scorer, is because when you see Jokic's game, it's very fluid. There's nothing forced. There's not, I'm going to give you 50, right? Like the Embiid, like a KD, like a Giannis. It's not that type of game. And that's why I know myself, I didn't want to give Jokic too much of flowers. I always knew he was a great player, right? There's no denying that. But as far as the best big man in the league, was because Embiid could give you 50 and face up and give me the ball and watch out. That's not Jokic's game. So in my mind, it was make him give me the ball and watch out, And Steve Kerr also said this, and I speak on the Patriots and Bill Belichick. A lot of times, even in basketball, because the analogies just make sense. He said, make them play left-handed. Make the other team play left-handed. And whatever they want to do, we just take that away and make them do the exact opposite. And I don't think Jokic wants to be that guy to say, you can't stop me, I'm going to give you 50. I don't think that's the way he plays the game of basketball.
He doesn't. He takes takes what the defense gives him. And you seen that in that Warriors series last year, to where they were, Jokic would have his 30-point games, but you can see it was like I'm not going to say a force because of the player that he is, but you can tell it was like, all right, he's getting the ball and he's having to score every possession damn near. You know what I mean? And that's, like you said, that's not really Jokic's game. He's fluid, like you said, and he plays in a flow. If the man is open down the court, he's going to pass that up. He'll go dribble, handoff, repost, DHO right into the corner for 3. Like, it's great basketball, and this is why, people are starting to understand why this guy has won back-to-back MVPs, and they're seeing it. I love that they're seeing it now on the grandest stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, and I know we don't do the numbers, but just think about it. 27, like 11, and like 12 game 1. Then game 2, 41, 11. I know he only had like 4 assists, but still, like, I think in the first half of game 1, he had 10 points, 3 rebounds, 10 assists, true shooting percentage was like 62, fucking plus minus with some fucking absurd shit. And I'm like, yo, we still have another half of fucking basketball left, bro.
Can I say something without you getting mad at me?
What's up?
Sounds like 36-year-old LeBron James.
Oh man. Did you see, and I know we're talking about Miami and Denver, but did you see the little gossip going around the league about Kyrie won the LeBron?
I wanted to talk about that. Maybe we can save that.
We'll save that in the tuck.
Yeah, but that's interesting. But quickly, who has been the best player on the Miami Heat through 2 games?
Gabe Vincent. That was very easy. I think Gabe has been their most consistent, I would say, scorer as far as like shooting the ball. If I had to go an honorable mention, it would be Bam. I think Bam is
my
yours.
One. Yeah, Bam is my number 1. I think what Bam has been doing, I look at who's playing better basketball than they've been playing. Who's stepped it up in the finals, and I think Bam has. And I know he shot a career high, field goal attempts, and that was mostly to Denver's doing. They said let him score, but even in game 2, he kind of found his way. And there's some games in the previous series where I felt like Bam, especially in Boston series, where I feel like Bam just disappeared. And you can't do that as the second best player on the team. So I think these first two games he has came out strong. I don't know the averages and none of that, but the eye test, which we hold to a higher standard here on those stats, has just been, watching him play. I think Bam has affected the game on both ends of the floor as well, rebounding, guarding, Jokic. Just making it as difficult as possible. You're not going to stop a guy like Jokic, so I don't, really care about what Jokic is averaging. Look what he did to Anthony Davis, who was, one of the best defenders. Yeah, so you got to do what you can do, and then on the offensive side, make him work. And I think that's what he's been doing. So Gabe Vincent has been balling too, but I think Bam has taken it up another level.
Nah, yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head with that one. Just as far as like you said, him playing both sides of the ball. Miami's been damn near running their offense through him. Not as high as a volume as Jokic, but like I said, they've been doing a lot of things with him in that pinch post, with him in that high post area, even at the top of the key, and they're just spreading it out. And I think it's going to be crucial for guys like Bam and Gabe Vincent in this series. I am interested to see how Jimmy plays at home. He's been real conservative. It's kind of like and it's hard to say because they won game 2. But it's sort of like he kind of took his foot off the gas a little bit. As far as initiating himself as like the alpha dog out there. I mean, he's still Jimmy. He still, gets to his spots, picks his spots. But he seems a little passive. I think that he's going to have to get back to that aggressive Jimmy that we seen in that Boston series, that we seen in that Milwaukee series, for the Heat to, take advantage of this series. And it's going to be interesting because I seen Tyler Hero just got cleared today for full contact.
I didn't see that yet.
That might be something that's interesting. And I already asked you, would you play him? I asked you this before the series. The series is 1-1 now, bro. Are you inserting Tyler Hero into the rotation? If you're not, when are you going to?
I think you do it at home. It has to be in game 3 or game 4 if he's ready.
Okay.
I would play game 3 out. I think coming off a win, no. I wouldn't play him in game 3. No. And if you win in game 3, I might not even play him in game 4, depending on how game 3 plays out. I think I will play him coming off a loss to kind of match, to kind of respond to how they play. I don't think you need to rush this, right? You made it this far throughout the playoffs without him. Right, you beat Boston, who I think was the favorite before the playoffs started to win the championship. Right, so you were able to manage that without Tyler Hero. So I don't think you force anything. You just let it organically come. If Max Strus is struggling still, right, one game don't mean you got it going. So if Max Strus struggles in game 3 and they lose game 3, now game 4, if Tyler Hero comes back, it gives the crowd another amp. Another boost of energy that Tyler Hero's back. This was your leading scorer, I think, through the regular season, if I'm not mistaken.
I think him and Jimmy was around the same. I know they was both 20 plus.
Yeah. So I don't think you rush it though. I don't think you need. This isn't not a knock on Tyler Hero, but this isn't LeBron. This isn't KD. This isn't Devin Booker. It's not one of those guys where you need to have him. But I think he helps tremendously if you put him in at the right spot. And I don't think Eric Spoelstra will rush it. What would you do, though?
I definitely don't think Eric's going to rush this. A very smart coach. I would play it like how you play it, bro. I would play him after a loss just to see how Denver adjusts. Because, now you've been, say for example, Miami drops game 3. Game 4, I deploy Tyler Hero. Now, what is your game plan now? Because now I have literally another creator out there and I know my only thing that I'm nervous about is just what type of Tyler we gonna get. Because when you're coming off a hand injury to your shooting, the conditioning, getting your legs up under you, and then this is not fucking regular season. This is playoff, the most highest level of fucking basketball in the world, damn near, especially in the finals.
Right.
You can't just flip the switch on that shit overnight, which I know he's in the NBA. He does a lot of training. It's a reason why he's in the league. But still, though, it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts and how he comes back, especially at this magnitude of a series. So I would play him after a loss, bro.